Hello viewers, welcome to Oasis Innovative Employment. Welcome everyone. This agency stands for vision, good health, mentorship, and also resilience. So we have a few teaching today that we are going to allow some of our customers and the viewers to understand from the medical point of view. We are not specialists, neither doctors, but we're trying our best to see how we can spread out the good news regarding our health. Very, very important. So it does not matter your color, race, or who you are, what background you come, continent you come from. So today, basically, the Oasis Innovative Employments, would want to talk about the basic human anatomy and physiology, and how it has to be maintained. If you have a car and you're driving this car always probably maybe about close to 20 miles every day, you want to service the car. You want to basically slow down, take it to the mechanic or probably the engineer to check and do some service, cleans it up, change the oil, and you want to make sure that the tires and everything are running well, the transmission, the machine, the engine are all in good shape. So basically today we're going to talk about how the human body is being created and how it functions. So I'm just going to give the basic and also what you're supposed to fuel this body with. The basic thing you're supposed to fuel this body with. So first of all, you want to know how the human body is being built. So if you want to talk about how the body is being built, you first of all talk about how it's been existed. Okay? So we are all a form of like an embryonic little thing that is like a toad, and all of a sudden we became a human being, and in about probably 38 to 40 weeks, maximum of 40 weeks, which is, if it's above 38, is overdue for a child to come out. The bones and everything are formed in the womb of the mother, and then the child is being birthed. But we want to know how to maintain it. When the child is in the womb, the child takes feed, nutrition from the mother, the placenta, the connection from the placenta to the mother. So today we are talking about how this body functions literally. So we'll talk about the head, how it's very, very important for it to assimilate and consume oxygen and blood. We'll also talk about our heart, how it's not supposed to be bombarded with too much cholesterol. I'm just giving you the basic. It's not being detailed. So you also talk about your organ in your trunk area, which has the liver, the kidney. It also have the spleen. It has the bladder, and of course how it's been filtered. We also talk about the bones, the muscles. We talk about the percentage of water in our body. It's about 70%. We talk about the red blood cells, the white blood cells that defend infections and diseases. So today, my area of specialization is when we send out workers, they basically know exactly what they're doing in area of care, demonstrations of skill, judgment, and also respecting the value of the patient or the client. So today, when we say it, the good function of a human body, physiologically, it's how they function without ill health, how they talk, how they coordinate, how the motor system coordinates properly from the head to the toe, how the neurons and the fibers and everything about you functions properly. So the level of organization of human body varied in different people, And that's why you say you have different body chemistry. When it comes to relationships, you say, oh, you know what? My chemistry is quite different from your chemistry. So personalities are quite different. But we're not talking about the personalities today. We're talking about the Oasis Innovative Employment and how we represent one mission. The mission is good health. We want to make sure that everything is in order, and then we give a quick report. If we get to your organization or we in your system, we abide to your policy. And this policy is, when you give this policy, we read through the policy. We want to do exactly what your policy wants the worker to do. They don't go beyond their scope. They specialize in their area of scope of practice. So basically, we take character, and conducts are very, very important in Oasis Innovative Employment. So we usually appreciate feedback. So the little branch of thing that I really want to talk about today, that is going to be streaming under the bottom of the line of the websites of Oasis Innovative website, is the body function nutrition. So I'm going to be basing basically on the nutrition. So I'm going to be talking more of the nutrition and probably exercise. Lifestyle is very, very important too. Your lifestyle, exercise, and nutrition, those are the things that make up human being, especially as you age. So when we talk about, I just give you a brief synopsis of what entails about the body anatomy and its physiology, the level of organization of the human body, of course, the characteristics and the maintenance of life itself, the homeostasis and feedback, of course, I want to get from you. So now the body compartments and body organs and systems, of course, they work differently, and each of the organs in your body, they all, occupy different segments, and of course, they have their various function. So if the doctor really want to diagnose for a fever, so you're being bitten by Anopheles mosquito, which is much common in more of the tropical zone area. So when we talk about maybe more of the other eastern parts of the country, so we talk about probably, maybe you talk about more of cancers, canned food are being eaten most times. So a lot of people depend on junks, canned food. Those things are not helpful. So that's why we want to see what can really promote good health. So the basic things that actually promote good health here is, to me, the way I view things, as we continue to age, you realize that you talk about nutrition. I have my little zucchini here, and also have, my peach. Sometimes look like apples. So we have, banana, have a lot of calories in it. So we also have mushrooms. We have a little mushroom right here. So these mushrooms, of course, they're very nutritional too. Praise the Lord. So as also appreciates, I have my cinnamon, here. Okay, let me take it out so that you can see it properly. Probably the video is not picking that up. So this is my cinnamon here. So we have all these various fruits. We have our cabbage. We also have strawberries and all the rest. So, which of course I cannot, show you all here on this platform, this video, all at the same time. So, but when we're talking about good health here, what, Oasis Innovative Employment stands for is, number one, the way you breathe in, especially this pandemic time. You want to talk about hygiene. Various places you go to work or practice, they will tell you have to be fully having the PPEs. So when you talk about PPEs, you're talking about, the personal protective equipment that you put on, just to protect you from infections and diseases. So you want to put on your mask, you want to put on your goggle just to protect your eyes. You also want to get a fresh air. So, well, I don't usually believe, let me show you something here they use. I'm going to step away from the video a little bit. So I don't usually, want to actually believe in some of those things they spray around. But some people believe that when you spray those things around, it kind of kill the microorganisms, some people breathe in. So, but that's not the point. The point is that you keep the environments very healthy and more of a habitable area that where human being doesn't come in contact with any kind of infection or probably maybe microorganisms or pick up any kind of viral infection. So when you talk about droplets, what you cough, sneeze out, the spit, the sputum being spat on the floor. When these things get dried up, of course, being stepped upon under the shoes, being spread out to homes, and of course people inhale it, and that's why you get a lot of droplets diseases and problem. So, but basically what the Oasis and Innovative Employment stands for, we give you the basic care head to toe. We make sure we give you the services you need in the sense that it comes to taking care of human being properly, doing all the basic things that will help you. They take care of the needs of food, area cleaning, and also making sure that the person is healthy and healthy. So, but I'm going to be specializing more on the nutritional aspects of it that I've already shown you a while ago. So if you're talking about taking more of the fruits, which of course have a lot of nutrients and keeps you going, just like I talk about, I give an example of the car that you use, that you have to service it or fuel it or give it a gas. So it is for the human body. So you have to maintain the human body, and it all depends on what you put in the human body. You can't put out junks and expect you to function properly. So you have to put on something that is very, very important. So, and I also know that as we're getting this teaching today, we are going to think about it and know what to do. So we have various kinds of roots. We have ginger, we have garlic, those ones stands like a kind of a natural antibiotic. So you go to the marketplace, sometimes these things doesn't cost you much. It doesn't cost you much. I'm not talking about taking heavy meal. Heavy meals are good sometimes. Talk about your carbohydrate, your protein. You understand? You talk about the value fats that we eat. You understand? You also talk about the minerals, all those things that are very, very important to the body. So when we talk about the basic introductory chemistry, atoms and molecules in the body, we don't want to go very, very deep into biology here. That's not what I come to teach. I come to teach you the basic thing, the essential thing that are very, very essential to daily needs, and how Oasis Innovative Employment stands for. So what we do here is we teach the workers, and we tell them, the right thing to do, and also hygiene, how to clip their hands, wash their hands oftentimes. It doesn't matter what you touch, especially the things you touch, all the hard surface areas. The hard surface area, maybe the doorknob, the toilet doorknobs, you have to clean it properly or disinfect it. You also talk about all of the knobs, basically the car doorknobs, the handle of the car, the steerings, the rails, probably the escalator rails. You touch those things, you have to make sure that they are properly capitalized and clean and disinfected. So please, it's very, very important that sometimes I work with my little hand sanitizer. I go about, I work with my little hand sanitizer. I have this hand sanitizer. I usually put it in my hands, and I'm not saying that's really, that's what's going to protect you. But when you get where to, there's a tap, you wash your hands properly and make sure you keep your hands healthy. And putting on the mask, it's okay. Sometimes it's the respiration aspect of it is very important, because the lungs need air to function properly, because you don't want, something. Also, the lungs also, doesn't filter, they don't filter air. Is your nostrils, which the normal floras we have in our body, that filters the air. So, but what we're saying is, protect yourself as much as you can. which of course we know is God that protects you, but you know, try as much as you can to do the basic thing. So make sure you keep your environment very healthy, disinfect, wash your hands, and also carbolize and put on your PPE, which is very, very important. So we teach the innovative employment workers, you know, what to do, basically how to go about doing things, and also when they're being sent down to agencies, and of course they're morally sound in the sense that they're very respectful, they do things right, and they're very open to learning new things, and explore new teachings. So please, so our immune system sometimes, and also, you know, they cry out to say, I need help. What kind of help they need? Because they actually need the natural fruits to keep them going. They need the natural fruits to keep them going. You understand? So they want the basic thing that will keep them going at all the time. So what they do is that they want to make sure that they get something clean in their system, get all these fruits in their system, so that they cannot be visiting the doctor frequently. So you have to put in your system something, and so that it can boost your immune system to fight infection. So if we are going to be talking about the various parts of the system, of course we can't finish it in whole one setting and teaching. And we'll talk about the cells, the tissues. Want to talk about the endocrine system, of course, which of course many people suffer from it today. I can say about 16 or more than maybe 20 million of people are ill about in the endocrine disorders. That's, you know, like if you understand what I'm saying. Your digestive system too, what you put in your guts, very, very important. So how, you know, the body digests it. Though your body, of course, is filters and also grind things and absorb things to put them into the cells. You have to be very, very, very careful the way you load those things up. Some of the nervous systems too, if you overwork yourself, that's when exercise comes into it. So no matter what it is, you're on the big side, thin side, small side, it doesn't matter the shape you are, you have to exercise basically every day. You say, but you know what, sister, I usually go to work, so I walk back and forth and I count the amounts of time that I walked back and forth, and you really want to see how those things, you know, will work. No, that's not the type of exercise I'm talking about. The literally, you know, walking a distance, you know, having about maybe 6 miles walk, or that might be too much for you. But yeah, so you have to walk a little bit, you have to stretch your bones and your muscles. These things are very, very important. So when you talk about the integumentary system too, which is your skin, of course, you drink a lot of water. You want to really, really take a lot of water that will keep you going. Just as I say, we can't finish this in one teaching, but innovative employment organization, what we do here basically, when workers apply into this organization, what we usually do, we make sure we check everything. We don't just send you out there and then of course you go mix things up. We make sure that we tell you the right thing. We have our code of conduct here that we abide to. We have our ethics and also what we stand for. So those things are very, very important. So when you talk about the skeletal system, of course, that's your bone. You want to make sure you do a lot of a number of exercise. You know, so here we talk about a lot of the human body, you know, how they suffer. And honestly, viewers, I appreciate God so much, because I was opportune, you know, to be a nurse since age 24, when I was 24 years old. And thank God I'm still in it up to now, and I'm so happy that I come to realize a lot of things. So if you don't maintain this body, guess what it does? It breaks down. It doesn't matter if you are a PhD holder, whatever certificate you're having, that doesn't respect that. The nature and the body and the body physique and how God built it doesn't respect that. What it does respect is exactly what you put in it. So those things are what we're talking about here. So study and have shown it that because people are not really maintaining the body, it tends to be an easy breakdown of this body, and that's not good for us physiologically, neither is it good for us emotionally, because if I'm going to add psychology and emotion to it, of course the video is going to be too lengthy for others understand, and it's not going to come in one teaching and one video. So we have to be very disciplined, you know, when it comes to how we maintain the body. So even though Oasis staff come to your organization, your agency, to give you a service, what they do, they look at the basic thing. They might want to really tell you, oh, excuse me, if you can help to tidy, no hoarding, do away with anything that is going to attract bacteria, you have to do away with those things. And one thing again that I want to let you know, you say, oh, but the surface look clean. Oh, this surface look clean. But it might look clean, but under a microscopic view, you realize that there's a whole bunch of infection when you try to view it from another different lens. So that's why it's very, very important that you have to get these basic teachings. So now, we are going to talk about different type of food that we eat, because that's what I told you, that we actually appreciate nutrition. So those things are very, very important. So when you want to take carbohydrates, you take in a moderate form. And so what does it entail? So you tell me, okay, what's the carbohydrates? What's the carbohydrate? Because carbohydrates, of course, is those starchy food that we eat more often than not. Most times that's, takes about 70% of food that we eat. So the starchy food, of course, gives energy. If those ones come out of food, your energy would be depleted, and that's not what you want for your body. So also, the starchy food can be rice, which is the basic thing, and I think universally, a lot of people eat rice. So we also talk about starchy food, maybe like potato Irish, potato, different kinds of potato that we eat, some kind of stems, this kind of carbohydrate stems that we eat. We're taking an example of Irish potato that I just mentioned a while ago, or a cocoa yam. A lot of people eat cocoa yam from West Africa. A lot of people eat that too. So why don't we eat those things in moderation? Because if you eat it too much, sometimes it tends to affect the amount of absorption. So that's something that we have to consider also too. And just as I mentioned a while ago, if you really, really, really want to maintain a good health, and of course help the Oasis innovative staff that come to give you service, you have to take those basic things, the basic nutrition that we have to eat to make sure that we maintain a good health. Thank you. So also protein, when we talk about protein, so what are those foods that you want to learn about protein? You talk about green beans. You talk about the basic things like fish. You talk about beef, especially healthy ones, the lean ones. Not too much red ones, because those ones sometimes when you take it a lot, it impacts your health, especially plagues, the lumens of your arteries and veins, of course, cause another problem called cholesterol. So you want to minimize the way you eat a lot of those red meats. So now, our basal metabolic rates in our body, these things have been done naturally in our body that's kind of like regulates your weight. It's regulates your weight. So because if you're being overweight, it's going to tell you, okay, you are being overweight, and it's going to be giving you signal, and then you have to that's when you have to visit the physio and also go to the gym to see how you are going to work on those ones so that you can function properly. So when we talk about good health, you're talking about your nutrition, you're talking about your exercise, you're also talking about how the anatomy and the physiology of your body functions. So it varies in various people's body. So that's why you want to be maintaining your body mass index on a daily basis. So in some parts of the country, they have food guides. Sometimes when you go to their homes, they stick it on the fridge. And so healthy food guides that people want to follow, because you might want to really follow the food guide so that you don't want to take medications to start breaking down those fatty tissues. So you just really want to follow those food guides to help you through. So I just mentioned carbohydrate, protein. I have to mention other essential minerals too. They're very important to your body, and also essential nutrients that are very important to your body too. So those things, you have to take them also in moderation. Because sometimes people say, oh no, I don't want to eat that fat because I don't want to get that cholesterol. So these vitamins, there are various compounds that we have to try to tailor down into our way of lifestyle on a daily basis. So when you talk about the vitamin and the alternative vitamin we're talking about on a daily basis, their recommendations, functions, and how it's been associated, or the deficiency in our body, they all varies. So why don't we try as much as we can, go to the dietitian. Most times people consult their dietitian to tell them, oh, if I eat this, how does it work in my body? Is it okay with me? Because some people react and some people are allergic to some certain kind of food. Especially, I've heard about a lot of people being allergic to peanuts. People are allergic to peanuts, and seriously allergic to peanut, that they have to be taking adrenaline or take some adrenaline injection to counteract the effects of those allergy. And honestly, very is a serious allergy that you don't really want to experience. You understand? And then for those ones who are really also already ill, you want to check with your doctor just to make sure these things are in a proper shape and way, and so that it can help you through. So that when you consult with your doctor, I think they will guide you through on what and how and which and what time and those food can be eaten. So these things are very essential if we really want to follow the food guide and what we eat on a daily basis. Now, if you want to talk about the minerals, that's what you want to speak to the lab scientists, of course, which of course will tell you and is if the potassium level is okay in your body, and what kind of food you're supposed to eat. It's been recommended for the food. And also talking about your sodium, you don't want to reduce the amount of your salt intake. And we're talking about your calcium, of course, what kind of food you're supposed to, the dairy products you're supposed to take, that's supposed to correlate with that. And also talk about your phosphorus. These things are very important to maintain a good health. Talk about the magnesiums, you want to maintain those things. Some people who doesn't have an insight or have knowledge to these things, they say, does it really matter? Do you really want me to be following all this food guide? Does it really matter? Don't you know it's God that protects me? We know that it's God that is protecting you, but it's very important that you know these things, because they're very essential to our body. You understand? So you want to know the amount of iron that you're having. You don't want to have it too much, because sometimes when you have too much of that, it appears in your eye. Of course, you don't want to be having too much bilirubin into your system. And also copper, you have to know the iron, the iodine, the sulfur. These things are very important. And also different kinds of food, bring all this. So I'm talking about the fluoride, the manganese, the cobalt. These things are very important. So, but just as what I'm saying again, I am not a doctor. In moderation, if you really want to get these in a moderation form, and with the kind of food that is going to give you, if you talk about potassium, of course, the sources of potassiums are meats, fish, fruits, vegetable, legumes, and also dairies products. Those things are very important for that. And of course, they help you to balance your electrolytes level. If you talk about the sodium too, talk about the stable salts, which I've already mentioned earlier, that we have to moderate the way we take it. Sometimes people who are hypertensive are very careful the way they take a lot of consumption, because some people say, oh, this food doesn't taste nice. We want to put more salt in it. So we have different people, different stroke, different personalities. So you see different things. Now, you also talk about the calcium. The calcium here are more of the dairy products, which is more of dark green leafy beans, vegetables. We talk about nuts. breweries yeast, and also some fish. Also falls under the category of the calcium. The phosphorus also is meat and milk. The magnesiums is the whole grains here. We have the nuts, we have the leafy green again, we have the vegetables. So you see, my vegetable is still working. I told you earlier on that you cannot do away with these fruits. They're very, very important. And also you cannot do away with your beef and your fish. They're very, very important. So your vegetables, you don't want to really do away with it. And then the cinnamons, although some of these are legumes and also roots and stems, they tend to help you very, very well. So please, before we actually use synthesized food or canned food that are having a lot of preservatives, why don't you approach it from the natural, where you get these natural foods? I'm not really saying you say it has to be organic. Yes, organic food are very, very important, but you, if they're very expensive, why don't you get your little just $5 notes? So it all depends on what currency you use, and go to the local store, get a few things that you're going to eat. It's not talking about the bulkiness, it's talking about the essential thing that you've actually eaten that is functioning very, very well. So before we come to the end of this video, and then we'll continue our teaching in the next video again, and I said again, if you have any question, please consult your doctor. And if you have any question about your medication, again, you say, oh, but you know, I'm taking this medication, I don't know what kind of food that is allergic to it, the doctor advised me to take it, please speak to your pharmacist. So these things are very, very important. So, and of course, you want to see the side effects of those medication before you really want to consume it. So nutrition on its own and diet affect your metabolism. These things are very, very important. The more energy is required to break down fats and also proteins and also carbohydrate. However, all these things are sometimes when we have excessive calories, we want to make sure that we break down these calories, and then they fall up, into various categories to our body to form fats and also give us energy. So on an average, a human body might want about maybe 1,500 to 2,000 calories to make it a normal daily activity. So what I'm saying is, again, these things you have to take them in normal moderation, and also you want to watch your the quantity, the quality of the food you eat, of course, affects your metabolism. So please try as much as you can to watch all the compartments of the system, your cardiovascular, your urinary, your ophthalmology. You want to check all the different compartments and systems of your body. Just as I said again, we can't bring this in one teaching, in one video. So the Oasis innovative staff and also organization will believe in good health. So please, wherever you see the Oasis staff, and you want to get the services, you want to call us on 647-887-2647. We also have an order number that is attached to the website that you call us for services. Please try to call us and tell us which company it is. And of course, before we actually send out our proposals to those organizations, we will appreciate the fact if you give us a feedback of how our service is, which is very, very important. And thank you so much. Please, viewers, I want you to please do one thing. Try as much as you can to respect your body. Respect your body. Respect this body that God gave to you. Please respect. It's not to be used anyhow. Respect your body. You understand? So if you're somebody who prays, fine. It's very, very essential to pray, which is good. And also, please try as much as you can to respect what you take. Exercise you do, what you do, how you do. These things are very, very important. Don't say, well, you know what, I'm still young, so I have a whole long stretched life to live. No, please, these things tells on you as you age. So try as much as you can, and also consult us again, as we said, please, at Oasis Innovative Employment. And of course, we'll try as much as we can to be giving you healthy tips, probably every month. I will do it twice a month. And thank you so much for hooking up with the Oasis Innovative Employment again. And of course, they are open open resume and open platform where you can submit your resume. And also we have a lot of people, staff there, that will have to review it before you're being sent out to agencies to work. And then we also believe in being disciplined. So these things are very, very important. Thank you so much. And thank you for staying with me again. So I'm going to see you next time, bringing another healthy tips again. Of course, not much of anatomy and physiology, just as I said. In case anything confusion, please consult your pharmacist and also consult your doctor. And thank you so much. This is Esther. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye for now.